Okay, I've been asked to give a little demo of my plumbed-in ballast system on our 88 skier. So welcome to the garage. I'm going to walk you through the boat, what I've done to make an integrated ballast system on an older direct drive boat like our 88 skier. I'll take you first through, we'll basically follow the water as it comes in the boat from the lake. So we'll start under the motor box here. Okay, what I did is on the freshwater intake, get the flashlight turned on here and I can show you what's going on. So this is our freshwater intake coming from the lake, and what I've done is teed into that basically with a 1 1/4 inch plastic tee, pipe clamps on both, and then I've got this is going to be hard to see, I'll try to do my best. This is coming down from the 1 1/4 inch tee. I've got an elbow that runs to a plastic ball valve. After I put the plastic in, I probably should have done brass. Just that's kind of a safety valve if anything happens. You could shut off the water to the rest of the system and isolate it at this point. The plastic's probably alright, but sitting beside the engine I kind of thought brass might be better for long term, but we'll keep an eye on it, see how it works. But it is tight. It took quite a bit to get it in there. Now behind that I have, you're not going to be able to see it due to the engine being in the way, but right behind that I have a 1 1/4 inch one-way valve. It's a flapper valve made for a sewage system. It's a 1 1/4 or 1 1/2, depending on how you configure the front end of it. They're just local hardware stores where I got mine. So after it gets through that one-way valve, and obviously that one-way valve is just to keep the system primed. Let me shut this and we'll go back. Oh, lost some parts. I'm going to take this part of the floor out. This is where the pump system's at, and I'll flip the seat up. The bottom seat cushion's out apparently. And this black hose you guys see coming back is a 1 1/4 inch line coming from that ball valve, the intake water, and it comes back through. And you can see that this is a plastic tee, a 1 1/4 inch plastic tee, and the main leg of it runs straight back under this pump. We've got 4 of these Tsunami 1200 gallon an hour pumps, and it comes back to, these are our 2 fill pumps in the very back of the boat. The left one fills the rear sacs, and the right one there, the right, you can see the outlet fills the front bow sac. So it's got the outlet line here. Let's see if I can hold this. This is the outlet line from the front bow sac, runs out, and then this line goes up through the entire bilge of the boat up to the front bow sac, and we'll see it in a little bit here. So this is kind of like a little manifold here. You've got a T that goes straight to the rear sac, would have the primary, this is our rear fill, and the outlet of it tees off. You can see this tee, I'll talk about it in a minute. So this is our rear fill pump, front fill pump. Okay, so intake 1 1/4 splits off. All this clear line is 1 inch clear. You can see it's got water in it right now. We used the boat Friday was the last time we had it out. Today's Sunday afternoon, and all including the drain are all full of water still. So let's talk about the rear fill. We've got this rear fill pump, 1200 gallon an hour. We come through a T, and I've got a 1 inch line going either direction in the boat. So it runs out through the corner. I left plenty of extra, way more than I needed. Loops and goes up through the side of the boat. Now the other line coming back is your drain. And I'll show you on the other side. The other side of that T, fill goes out, up the side of the boat. And now I'll cover the drain here, but I'll show you the other end of it in a minute. But the drain comes back from the fat sack. It is the opposite T here. This is our drain lines from either side. It's the bottom T. Runs down into our rear drain pump. And then this guy here is just a junction into the main drain line. So I've got the rear drain pump, and then this is the front drain pump. It was just convenient to put it up here. I was really running out of space. Everything, as you can see, is pretty jam-packed in here. And anytime I ran a hose through, like a mounting plate, like this rudder mounting plate, I tried to use pipe insulation or something to protect the hosing so that it wouldn't cut through. All the wires been shrink wrapped and electrical tape, try to keep the water out of it. This is all control cable I got out of the scrap bin at work. But this is the front drain pump. So this line and this line here both go to the front bow sac, which is tucked up underneath the closed bow on our boat. I'll show you the connections to it in a minute here. So this is coming back from the drain, and each outlet on the outlet side of these hoses have a ball valve. So you know the pressure coming from a drain in the rear, if you're not running the front sac, is not going to push up into the front bow sac due to the ball valve that I've got up front. Now the drain line here, this is our headed outside the boat, goes up, it goes underneath the rear of the boat above the fuel tank. There's one of those check valves I was telling you about, 1 1/4 inch check valve. So I've used some plastic fittings and some barb fittings there to neck it down to 1 inch from 1 1/4. And then it goes over to the side of the boat to my second through hull. I've added a through hull. I've got the bilges, the rear, and the one we're looking at dead center there, the front one, is the through hull for the ballast system. So they both exit the boat here with these stainless through hull fittings. Pretty nice fittings. They're a lot better than the black plastic stock fitting that the boat originally had. But that's the pump end of the system, and as you can see, it's pretty tight in there, but it works very well. The 1,200 gallon an hour pumps perform very well. They fill the 2 500 gallon fat sacks that we use fairly fast. Now I'll show you the other ends of all these hoses that come out where the ballast system works. So this is the rear of the boat, the motor. We run a sack on either side, a V-drive 500-pound sack. So these are the other ends of the lines coming out here. We've got the red valve is our drain, the green is our fill. I've done that everywhere in the boat just to keep it consistent. These are the quick release fittings for the fly high sacks, and these are our ballast sacks. So I'll just throw one in here so you can see what it looks like when we're running the boat. We've got a fill on top. And a drain on the bottom. And then those will sit right on the side of the boat. They'll look a lot better when they're filled up. But the ball valves allow you to isolate one side from the other since they share the same pump. Okay? Now the bow. Get up underneath the bow here. That's under our bow. It's pretty crowded under here with me, but same thing, red drain, green fill. And this is the other end of the, you guys who have closed bow ski boats know what you're looking at here. This is kind of the tunnel that all the main wiring comes up through. It's quite a rat's nest right now. We just added a system to the boat, but you can see there the hoses I've cut holes through using a hole saw, and they go down through into the bilge of the boat. That was quite an adventure to run those, but we got them in and they work pretty good. Now the electrical end, we've got a switch panel up front on the boat. I just made it out of scrap stainless with a couple rocker switches. The right front rocker is the rear fill and drain. Forward is fill, back is drain. The left rocker is the front. Forward is fill, back is drain. And the black switches are for auxiliary stuff like remote amp turn-ons for the stereo.